do that. Maybe we'll do that for Book It Yourselves. That sounds smart. We always have weird, outlandish things when DJ's not here for Book It Yourself.
Yeah. When he's not here, we can be more free to do dumb things.
Yes, we can. Holy crap, we're live.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. You know me. Okay, no, you don't, but you know who I am. I'm Issa J, your Smart Wrestling Alliance heavyweight champion, and to prove that, I'll be right back. But before then, right next to me is
Liam Landry, your former Smart Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion, lost it at WrestleMania. That's fine, you know, it happens. I thought I was going to lose it anyways. But yeah, now you can see how easy it is to get it before the podcast.
Yeah, it's funny, because so far this championship is like the most prestigious. There's only 3 people have ever won it.
That's true.
And usually their reigns last anywhere from 1 to 6 months. So, come on, DJ, you gotta get up on that. You gotta watch news and podcasts, and that's how I make all my predictions. And it's never the same as anyone else's, because I watched after the fact. I watched
No Cultaholic week.
Yeah.
I know you got
More
at the
than
top. The one who won was Jack, and I think you got 12 picks, right?
11.
11?
No, wait.
I think
Yeah, 11.
I was 11?
Yeah,
Okay.
11 for him, and then 10 for the other 2, and then only
because I mean, DJ
the
and
worst.
me, we both had around 11. I think we tied there, so we did better than them.
Yes. Ready for something great? Brian Zane from Wrestling with Regret and his friend, we did better than them. Like, big time better than them. I think you tied Brian and his friend, which was funny. And then Stephen Larson, they do theirs differently.
Yeah.
And they keep going by points and stuff, so I'm not entirely sure exactly how they did theirs. Their correct picks and stuff. But why? Here's why.
Simon Miller?
I knew it started with an S. Simon Miller, we did better than him too.
Yeah.
I think you tied with him as well. So we had some really good picks.
Yeah, if we ever did a cross-promotional thing, we would have won.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think of that.
I don't know about
That's
Wrestle Talk, and I don't know about the third really big wrestle channel, which is...
Well, you already know what the wall picks were, so you know the third biggest.
Okay.
Anyways, how was your week?
Oh, it was stressful as hell. Woke up early, went to work after that long day, pulled my back out immediately, lifting heavy things, and spent the rest of the day after I got off of work just sleeping. The next day, not even gonna talk about it. It was. I did get to see Shazam though, so that was a highlight. I liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was good. Zachary Levi did a great job as an adult child. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I saw another clip from it where they were like all grabbing onto the staff, and he's like, "Say my name, Billy."
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was a great scene. There's a fun little moment with Santa Claus.
Yeah, because I know some of the times Shazam is like all the orphan children together.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just the one boy, but then sometimes it's like all of them have to turn into him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it.
So is it Santa Claus going in there?
Yeah, there was a Santa Claus bit that was really great. Anybody who's seen it already knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Because in DC, there's already a Santa Claus that exists back in the Silver Age.
Oh, okay.
There was a storyline where someone put a spell on Santa or something that makes him eat more and get really, really fat until he would have like died or not been able to fit into the chimneys. So Superman had to help him lose weight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
That's back in the old days when like Superman had powers like putting out little doppelgangers on himself.
Mhm. And then
Other weird stuff.
very weird. And then of course,
Super ventriloquist. He was a super ventriloquist.
Oh.
Back in the Silver Age.
And then, of course, a little while ago, we did the Bare Bones Geeky podcast, episode 2, all about Game of Thrones. That was a lot of fun. Got to do it with this man right here. How's your week, Liam?
Fine enough. Not too much to say.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess we could just jump right into it now. The first segment of our show is the news outside of the WWE. And then exactly what it sounds like, where we talk about the news that happened in wrestling not associated with WWE.
Not at all.
Unless somehow it's a crossover and we're just screwed and we have to do it anyway.
Did you hear about that one guy who got a tattoo with a QR code to link to a YouTube video that had like some soccer team just wearing a goal? And then like some real rude people on Twitter went and false flagged the YouTube videos that his QR code tattoo doesn't link to anything anymore.
I have not heard this.
I thought that was quite rude of them. Because in a way, in America, to do something illegal because it's illegal to false flag things that you don't actually have a copyright for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very rude. But anyways, in All Elite Wrestling, we had some entrances being announced for the Over the Budget Battle Royal for Double or Nothing. We have Brian Pillman Jr. And we also had sign on his page for some reason. And I'm blanking on his name. And it is Glacier. I was going to say Iceberg. It would have been close, but it's Glacier.
Goldberg and I guess that's Goldberg and Iceberg's son, Glacier. Unless, of course, he's not a big guy. I actually don't know who that is.
He was supposed to be a big thing for WCW. It was when Mortal Kombat was really popular. So you probably have seen him then.
Okay, he looks like Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
He looks like Sub-Zero, yeah.
Okay.
That's the cash in on that. Probably. He put a lot of effort into it, but never worked out to anything.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting that he's coming back to do some stuff for All Elite Wrestling. That's funny.
I mean, that's what they want the Rumble to also have, is fun bits like that.
Mm-hmm.
They also had the signing this week of Hikaru Shida, female Japanese wrestler.
That's cool.
That's mostly it for All Elite. There's also the fact that sources are saying that their contract deal for TV contract deal is going to be either between TNT or TBS.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
nothing in stone yet, but that's what it's coming from, and we've been hearing for a while that it's been becoming from a big source.
yeah.
That they're going to be connected to a big time channel.
Yeah, it's gonna be really big once they start doing stuff in October,
Mm-hmm.
which is even crazier because they will basically be taking the spot of SmackDown Live, which is on Tuesdays. Because in October, SmackDown Live becomes on Fridays for Fox. So all of this goings on is about to get really crazy. Of course, we have. We'll talk about SmackDown later, but yeah, we have really big signings and big announcements of Brian Pillman Jr. He's not your favorite of the New Hart Foundation. That's Teddy Hart, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Brian Pillman Jr. I saw a couple of his things. He's the one who usually wrestles in New Japan.
No.
Oh, that's Teddy as well.
No, that's David Boy Smith Jr.
David Boy Smith Jr. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I know you showed me the match with the three of them against the other three, but yeah, I think Brian Pillman Jr. is like a really cool get, and being a tag, he is officially the tag team champion with Davey Boy Smith, right? After defeating the Lucha Brothers in MLW.
Well, it's not really clear how they're gonna give it out, as if anyone can do it. Because I know it was Teddy Hart and David Boy Smith Jr.
Oh, okay. And Teddy Hart is also their other champion, that
the middleweight champion.
That MLW is his name.
That's Brian Pillman Jr.
Okay.
So if for those watching on the podcast, have you seen the Brian Pillman Sr.? He looks a lot like his father does.
He does. Almost a spitting image.
Yep.
And then Hikaru, you said?
Yeah, Hikaru.
She's a really big get. That's going to be really cool to see her in America. And yeah, a lot of cool things.
Hikaru.
I like her look. And I like her traditional kimono kind of look with the silk right there. That's really cool. And then of course red. So she's already got a leg up for me. Yeah, and then that's a lot of big wrestlers now that's gonna be able to give more notoriety to Double or Nothing, which is a lot of fun. And the TV deal with the rumors, even it was already rumored and speculated that something that big was going to happen, but now that JR basically said this big thing will happen, and we're just waiting to hear which big thing it is. It's like Monday Night Wars all over again.
Yeah. They also had Darby Allin sign as well. Do you know about him?
Not as much as Brian Pillman Jr.
Looking at his name, they really should have got him for Alden, huh? Since his last name is basically Alden.
That's funny. That would be funny if they actually does show up for Double or Nothing or All In too, just because of his namesake. Yeah, that's like two really big pieces of news, just for AEW already. And then our next piece of news is, unfortunately, at the G1 Supercard, Hiroshi Tanahashi sustained an injury. It is speculated that it is not a severe one, and he should be able to heal within the next month or so. So that is very thankful, because we're about to get to worse injuries real soon. But yeah, we're just hoping that he is just he has a very speedy recovery and he's able to come back really soon, because Sakura Genesis should be around the corner.
Well, the next one is Wrestling Dontaku.
Wrestling Dontaku?
Sakura Genesis is still pretty close, but Wrestling Dontaku comes right before it. And I guess it would probably be about that. It should be like next month. So maybe that. If not, then he would definitely be there by Sakura Genesis.
Yeah. So that's a lot of. We're just hoping that he has a speedy recovery. And what about anything else you can just think of off the top of your head?
There was the announcement that we were going to have a sexy star fight her first fight in MMA for Combat Americas. It was, of course, a controversial figure in pro wrestling when she intentionally injured Rosemary by breaking her arm in an armbar.
Yeah, everybody just instantly turned on Sexy Star like that.
Yeah, it was very instant, very blacklisting from the community. So,
and then people were already having trouble with her before that point, because I remember, I think it was Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie was the champion of, I think, AAA, and she was not able to defend her championship at a show because of travel issues. So they had John Morrison, whatever his proper name is.
Johnny AAA.
Yeah, go get the title from her and bring it there under the presumption that they just wanted it to be seen and they'll have a number one contendership match. After that happened on the show, they gave the championship to Sexy Star because she basically politicked her way into it, sowing discord from a lot of Taya Valkyrie fans and a lot of people in general, because you just don't do that anymore.
Right.
And then Rosemary happened, and that was it. That was the last straw, rightfully so. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens in her fight. I know a lot of people are just gonna tune in just to see if she'll actually do good, or hoping that she'll get injured herself.
They just know she can break arms. So, so that's all the news I know. Do you know anything else?
Not outside the WWE at this moment.
Yeah. Well, there was some other stuff about the concept of the end zone cast looking like it was a very real thing from ROH trying to do, and that apparently also really upset New Japan, because New Japan was trying to run their own thing during it, and it just got took away from it, and ROH didn't tell them that they were doing it, so it may come to ending the ties between ROH and New Japan.
I mean, ROH, you do realize you're not supposed to burn your bridges at all, and that sounds like that. You knew instantly once you heard that this was a work that New Japan was not pleased with it, and now knowing that New Japan didn't even know about it before it happened, and you can tell even more so they didn't know because they made sure to not put the camera on them on End Zone Bigcast at all, because they're thinking, oh my gosh, what is this craziness? Stay on the ring, don't mention it, don't bring it up. No one knew this was supposed to happen.
Probably didn't even recognize them.
Probably not.
Japan probably doesn't care, but
so
Tonga was definitely pissed at ROH.
Yeah, and throwing the championship down the way he did, that at first I was like, oh, that's funny. Now looking back on hindsight, he did that intentionally, because he's mad right now. Yeah, that was stupid of them. They should have done something else, or at least talk to New Japan and try to work with them.
Higher End Zone cast.
Exactly. We were speculating before that they were just they were just desperate individuals, but apparently they were hired to do that. Still probably desperate, but yeah.
It's also just terrible. I don't know if you've seen like on YouTube. There's like a commercial for like a music video from some rock or modern metal music type thing. And it's like I wasn't really looking at it. I looked up at like the last clip, and it's like it zoomed in the guy's face and it's like, No, it can't be Enzo. Then I saw the commercial again. It's like, yeah, it's Enzo. He's in some random music video, and it's like, why?
But yeah, I do believe because of the secrecy, because of not telling them, because of the unprofessionalism that they shown, the ROH deal with New Japan will not be re-signed later this year, and they're probably going to be working with All Elite Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
New Japan will.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that is the case, because that is just a dream partnership.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you gotta get ROH not really hold up their side of the show
Mm-hmm.
when it came down to it. So it's not like they're getting a lot of benefit from this partnership that New Japan released.
Mm-hmm.
They should be working with a much better group, even if it's not an all elite wrestling. I would say so many other companies that they're working with in America right now that would get better results.
I mean, even if they worked with Impact, that would be even better, because you have
Impact
Moose
would be a
over
step
there,
up.
Johnny Impact.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so great to see Johnny Impact become Johnny New Japan.
Yeah, Johnny Gaijin.
Exactly.
Yes.
He's on Bullet Club
What would be his weight class?
for life.
I'm trying to think if he could be in Best of the Super Juniors or G1. I don't know what his weight class is. Because he's a pretty muscular guy, but I don't know.
He is. I think they would put him in both. Yeah, I could see them putting him in both. Kind of at the little guys at first, and he just completely dominates, and then in kayfabe he gets more muscular and stuff, and he goes to G1 side.
Even if it's the one thing with all elite wrestling, and you still have kind of the problems with Impact, is that they also work with AAA, which would be competitive with CMLL,
Mm-hmm.
who New Japan's going to still work with, but we'll see in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should be really interesting. Yeah, let's go into our segment number 2.
Yes.
That's where we talk about the news inside of the WWE. And again, like the last one, is exactly how it sounds. It's where we talk about news and wrestling, specifically WWE. Because WWE is still the biggest wrestling company in America.
Yeah.
Or at least North America.
So let's just say news 1 is injuries.
Oh boy, if you had a bingo card for people getting injured, hey, you might have a bingo, because there was a lot of them. I'm just running down.
Long-term ones too.
Oh yeah, Big E, he is out because he has a torn meniscus, which means he needs to get surgery. So I think it said he'll be out for around like 3 to 6 months. That's the best case scenario. Someone who'll be out for 9 months to a year is Nia Jax. She torn both of her ACLs, so that is massive. That sucks. Also in the women's division, it's your former champion, Ronda Rousey. She apparently broke her arm.
Yeah, what, hand or something?
Her hand or her arm, yeah. It's not specifically shown where it was, and I know Becky Lynch made a tweet about it, but I don't think it was the punch to Becky that did it, because there's a clip of a big boot from Charlotte, and it just gets all of it, and it right on the arm, and it looks devastating.
I mean, it can't be from the punch, because she was able to punch the turnbuckle post. Like all the LCD screens to mess up. That's a powerful punch.
Mm-hmm.
She had her
Exactly.
hand there, so.
But yeah, that's really big. Another
so she's
one.
going through surgery while Charlotte's going through vacations.
Mm-hmm. And then we have a very depressing one who just got back from like the worst injury, career-ending injury, even, and he was able to come back. Daniel Bryan, he also got injured. I don't know exactly where it was, but I know that's concerning for Daniel Bryan fans. Next, also happening at the Showcase of the Immortals, AJ Styles, after taking the superplex, he landed wrong on his shoulder and he messed up his shoulder. Luckily, they say that it's not severe and should be back within 2 weeks to 2 months. In theory, he'll be back in time before Money in the Bank, so that's thankful. Let's hope for that best case scenario. And do you think we're done? We're not. There was one more. Drew McIntyre had on SmackDown Live sustained an injury, just like Mr. Big E, which is really sad and upsetting, especially because he's always seemed like he's about to get pushed to the moon.
Yeah, it looked like he was about to get in the feud with Kofi Kingston for the title.
However, also like AJ Styles, it is rumored that it's just a sprain and not a full-on surgery needing injury. Mm-hmm. So let's hope for that. Just keep him off for 2 to 4 weeks, and boom, we'll be okay.
Come out to do promos too.
Mm-hmm. Basically, what they did for Seth Rollins after he won the, what do you call that? The Royal Rumble. He ended up getting injured that Monday, and they just had him there just to do promos, backstage stuff before he was able to get back, which is what you need, which is what you should do, because we don't always need to see them interacting. Just let them tell the story through their words sometimes. Any more injuries that you can think of at this moment?
No.
We already went through so many.
A lot of injuries.
Yeah. And thankfully, Mustafa Ali did not sustain one. Somehow, some way, he did not injure himself when his face went straight into that table. So
they can do the Avengers Assemble.
That's good. Because he was wrestling that SmackDown Live, so that's good.
The Avengers Assemble.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he tried to go for it too early. Like he was like waiting for a spot. Ricochet wasn't, so I think it beyond that, but it looked cool beyond that. You know what I'm talking about?
Is that when they do the jump sit thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all very old did it. Yeah.
But yeah, that's that piece of news and injuries. Let's go into something a little bit happier.
Yeah, let's find some happier ones. The real question is why was he even on SmackDown? The shakeup hasn't happened yet, huh?
Which one?
The Superstar shakeup?
Hey, who was on SmackDown?
McIntyre?
So I'll just go on this. People who appeared on Raw, that is just SmackDown, The Bar, The New Day. He's not on SmackDown, but he finally made his appearance, Lars Sullivan. And there was one more big one, but I cannot remember who it is at this moment. Then Drew he was at SmackDown because he teamed up with The Bar, because The Bar then interrupted The New Day and tried to beat him down again. So he became their third. Braun Strowman attacked Samoa Joe. And Becky Lynch was on Raw and SmackDown as well. So yeah, those were your big crisscrosses. Oh, and Bray Wyatt's puppet as well. He has a little bird puppet, a vulture that he's doing and stuff. So
it was when the Gobbledygooker had a baby with Mark Henry and Mae Young's son, The Hand.
I guess so. But that was apparently they're doing that. I may be forgetting a couple more. but oh, and of course, Ricochet and Aleister Black was on both, and Lacey Evans was on both. And she finally did something. She attacked your champion, so they'll be getting into a feud really soon.
Attacked Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
As Becky called her out for being a Charlotte clone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did have news that's now going to be changed around because, according to Cultaholic.com, Seth Rollins' first opponent was supposed to be the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to have to change around now because of injuries, but they were able to at live events to be facing each other.
Mm.
And Dave Meltzer believes that it's going to be the start of a feud or a program between them. Trying to find happier ones, but
Yeah.
there's apparently Mark Henry believes that the same promo that Sami Zayn did on Raw came from the heart, and he doesn't believe that it was a scripted thing because he feels that it was so natural for him.
Yeah, Sami Zayn was on both too.
Yeah. Yeah, they had the fact that the referee got fined.
That was, I mean, it's not happy news, but it is news.
It is news.
So if anyone has not seen the main event, which was Becky Lynch versus
Charlotte versus
Ronda for both SmackDown and Raw Women's Championships, winner take all, Becky Lynch in a crucifix roll up had Ronda Rousey on the mat. Ronda Rousey's shoulders went off, but the ref kept counting, went all the way to 3. Becky Lynch wins. Ronda Rousey, angry as all can be. The botch finish was apparently not planned, and the referee got fined because of it. Luckily, he did not lose his job.
I would say this,
but
that does go a lot more against the ref because you have to look at it as it'd be one thing if Ronda didn't get her shoulders up because at that point they are trained to count it like it's real.
Mm-hmm.
So he would just been forced to do 3, and if he was fined from that, that would have been wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it's not his fault that goes on to Ronda. At that point, he really should have stopped the count because it was clearly off the mat.
Oh yeah, it was off by a good few seconds, and then it was like, oh, she kicked out. He's still counting, and the two of us were completely confused at that point, and we're like, oh, okay, she won. Okay.
I think he just wanted to get home.
He went into business for himself.
Yeah, like everyone else there. Just wanted to go home.
And apparently no one got to go home because they had a 4-hour delay because of the transits.
Yeah, afterward, yeah. Though granted, everyone at least left happy because that's what they wanted to get from it.
Everyone wanted to see Seth, Kofi, and Becky win, and everyone was thinking that it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. Except for this man right here.
Yes, I thought it was.
And then it did. And it completely did. And they paced it perfectly.
Remember, as it's always said by Vince McMahon, WrestleMania, everyone goes home happy.
Mm-hmm.
All the other ones.
Except for last year.
Well, yeah. But his whole concept is that it should always be the finish for a lot of major feuds. And should always have happy moments. It's not like the other ones where it can be half and half. They always try to do a happy moment. So I didn't think there would have been too many happy moments because I don't think you could have had too many happy moments.
Yeah, and you called it. So, yeah, unfortunately he's now fined, and also someone did lose their job a couple of days ago.
That's Road Dogg.
Yeah.
Upset about the fact that he always, as Vince fans always rewriting everything. He's got frustrated and wanted to leave and left.
So that's really big because now he might be a writer with Billy Dunn at All Elite Wrestling. That's a huge theory that potentially might happen.
Another injury /
Oh boy.
Well, not injury.
Okay.
But the whole thing is like, it seems all this week is just injuries and firings. It's not their firing. It happened at the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon, upset by the fact that Bret Hart mentioned Vince's name during his speech, fired the producer. Apparently, it was supposed to be a "you can't fire me, I quit" moment, but it was still
he still
tough
lost
to fire him.
Yeah, he's still fired
because Vince McMahon's name was mentioned during Bret Hart's speech.
And apparently immediately after all that happened, DX goes out and they were being douchebags about it. That's the only thing I can say. They're like, oh, you can't say Vince McMahon's name. Wait, Vince McMahon? You can't say Vince McMahon? No, you can't say Vince McMahon. Because then he was saying Vince McMahon. Because obviously he's not going to fire his son-in-law and Shawn Michaels.
So he took it out on Road Dogg.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know what? I will fire someone. Billy Gunn, you're fired. I don't work for you. What?
Remember we did the whole bit about me being all in?
I'm all elite now? I mean, okay, you know what? X-Pac, you're fired. I also don't work for you. I just did a match in another promotion. What? Why are y'all even in my Hall of Fame then? Oh, I guess that leaves you, Road Dogg, but you know what?
You don't even work here, Road Dogg. It's like, yeah, I do on SmackDown. I'm a writer. We have writers.
You know what? I quit. I'm out of here. And then Vince goes over to Shawn Michaels and Triple H. It's so funny. He thinks he's quitting. He doesn't even work here. And both of them are like, we're not saying a thing.
Yeah, but it's like, just crazy idea they have. Yeah.
And then
hopefully he finds new work somewhere.
Yeah, so and the last bit of news is we're going to do a little bit of news plus predictions. Obviously, tomorrow and Tuesday will be the Superstar Shakeup, the International Superstar Shakeup. And everyone's thinking it's only called that because they are in Canada for it. I think it's because they're going to bring some NXT UK guys to the main roster.
Are you sure it's not going to be like the World Cup?
International
Superstar Shakeup on the Americans.
It's going to be the World Cup. Every single person is American. Oh, drat. Let's bring in...
that one guy has a mask.
Let's put in Rey Mysterio. Yeah, there's some diversity. He's from California.
He's from San Diego. That's why his move's called the 619.
Come on, Vince. Anyways.
I thought that was some type of taco or something.
But, yeah, so... It's a superstar shakeup. That's going to be really big. It's always pretty big. After reportedly from people who have actually seen it, a very lackluster After Mania Raw and After Mania SmackDown, with the three biggest highlights being Lars Sullivan, Lacey Evans actually doing something, and Bray Wyatt now has a puppet. The last one is obviously a joke. Let's do some predictions and talk about the Superstar Shakeup. Who do you think is going to showcase?
It's going to showcase. I think it's going to be... Yeah, I know they had it built. We just talked about the news, but I think Drew McIntyre is going to go to SmackDown.
I can see that. I really can. It would be really cool to have him over on the blue brand. Give everyone a little. People also are suspecting Braun, but I think they're gonna switch champions finally, and it's gonna be Finn over to SmackDown and Samoa Joe over to Raw. I think that'll be really cool because it'll give Samoa Joe some more feud opportunities, since he's basically feuded with everybody he can for that title already when he didn't have the title. So bring him over to SmackDown, and if you really want to have Roman Reigns to do something good. Have them actually have a real feud and not screw it up like they did at Backlash 2 years ago, or last year even. It was last year with the worst match because it was so boring. I've read some, I've heard, there we go, I've heard about some spoilers, and apparently Undisputed Era is still doing a lot, so it's very doubtful they'll show up, even though everybody wants Undisputed Era on the main roster, except for us. With that said, who do you think from NXT, other than Ricochet and Aleister Black, since they've been doing stuff already, who do you think will be called up?
Brand who's Sky Pirates.
Sky Pirates.
Yes.
That's actually a really good call because it's very possible.
Yes, quite possible.
And especially with Page's. Oh, I'll get them some real competition. Comment. I think it's going to be Matt Riddle already.
It could be, yeah. That makes sense. Matt Riddle, wait, at Joseph Raw?
Yeah. Or actually, since SmackDown is going to be on Fox, possibly SmackDown.
Possibly.
I'll take a little bit.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
No problem.
And then, yeah, anything else you can think of? Who do you think is moving from... Which woman do you think is going to move?
From one brand to the other, or from NXT? Oh, you're
One brand to the other.
One brand to the other?
Mm-hmm.
Who can move over? Who's where anyways? I don't know, you have any ideas?
I honestly would love to see Mickie James back on SmackDown. Let her do some more stuff with the SmackDown crew and just throw Naomi onto Raw or out of the company. Either one is I'm okay with. Someone I actually want to see go to Raw would, because the women's champion is up in the air and we don't know what the outcome, if they're going to be separated again or if it's just going to become one title. Keeping Lacey on SmackDown was a good choice than having her do both. Not really sure. Tag teams. I think Usos need to go to Raw to give them some credibility over there.
Yeah. Usos there. You have to keep the revival. Who do you bring over to SmackDown?
I think SmackDown needs a comedy team, so the B team would be really cool. And then I would also say bring over Sandy to Raw because they have more time on Raw, 3 hours, to actually do stuff and be used. And they're not being used right now. So bring Sandy and Usos over to Raw and only the B team to SmackDown.
You gotta keep them away from the mic of the Miz. You do that by bringing them over to Raw.
I mean, Miz can join up with them again and be actually a part of the B team as a face. I think that would be super funny.
Yeah. And isn't Nikki Cross on Raw? Oh, she on SmackDown.
Nikki Cross is at the moment both. So if they move Sanity, I'd just say team her up with Sanity again and let her be on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
She can have so many amazing feuds.
I also feel that
all the Raw women over there.
I also feel that maybe Candice LeRae may be moving up
because
they put her so far in more pay-per-view matches than she has been in singles NXT matches.
Very true. And apparently people are saying that she's like a really great wrestler anyway. She doesn't really need that NXT training.
Mm-hmm.
So might as well just bring her up and let her have a. She'd probably be face, so a good heel to start off with, even though she's not that good. Tamina, like Candice LeRae would be able to like really show how good she is if she pulls Tamina to a great match.
It's hard to see Candice LeRae being a heel, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you were saying that she'd probably be a face, and it's be a little hard to see her come out with her pajama, dinosaur pajama, wrestling gear, and be a heel.
Is that really what she wears?
She wore it once. She wears a few different things.
So funny.
She's worn one that has some of, what's her name? The one that got injured?
No.
In the Neon Classic?
Not Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox, yeah, some of her colors once.
Mm-hmm.
To rep her for after being injured like that. But yeah, so that's
What's Tegan Knox's other name?
I don't know.
Okay, so Tegan Knox is her NXT name.
Yep,
Okay. Dakota Kai's best friend.
that's her other name. And now, from Wales, it's Dakota Kai's best friend.
I have another name. We forgot it. Okay. Is it Priestley? No, that's Will Ospreay's girlfriend.
Previously. Yeah.
Anyways, we don't really have to worry about all that. But yeah, that Superstar Shakeup should be
think
interesting.
of the Spider-Man one. I'm the band Spider. That's a stupid name. Spider-Man. Did you know that when Macho Man Randy Savage first was getting into wrestling, he wanted to be called I think it was like Man Spider, because he was like a big fan of the Spider-Man comic book series. So he wanted like a spider-themed wrestling.
That's awesome.
And then he became into a Spider-Man movie.
As Bonesaw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool. But that's the news outside. The news inside of WWE. Not much really to talk about. We already talked about that last week. Never mind.
But
Kushida.
yes.
But apparently Kushida had his first match already taped, so that's really cool.
It was taped as well? Okay,
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's a lot of coolness right there. Yeah, not a lot to talk about, unfortunately. So we'll move on to the next segment, which is...
At least nothing good to talk about.
Yeah, very true.
No high points. Sadly enough.
Yeah, at least Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston are still their respective champions. So,
They didn't question them.
mm-hmm. So, moving on to the next segment. It's the best segment of the week. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's where we pick our favorite and the best segment of the week. So,
I think going from Sunday evening to today, I think we're both going to have a pretty similar one here.
there's only two to really talk about, in my opinion. So I'll let you take it first.
And I'm going to take Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE SmackDown Championship, the WWE Championship.
Yes. Obviously, easily one of the two choices. Really, really good match. And
it's great intensity. The crowd was really in it.
the pop after he won was loud, exactly how we wanted to hear, which was great.
Good ebb and flow.
Mm-hmm.
Really got crowd invested. Good storytelling.
Unfortunately, I only got 4.5 stars, but 4.5 stars is not anything to head your head down about.
Oh, well, that would have been a good thing we could talk about.
I forgot about
Johnny
that.
Gargano and Adam Cole break the star record for WWE.
5.5 stars.
Pointing out what Dave Meltzer was calling the best match he's ever seen in WWE. Their 2 out of 3 falls match.
It was a really good match.
It was a really good match, yeah.
Too bad we just can't talk about that match again.
Yeah.
But Johnny now has 3, and Adam has 2. That's pretty awesome. And then, yeah.
I saw it when I was looking up. It was news outside the WWE though.
Mm-hmm.
It was for Fight Festival. It was.
Oh yeah, the Fight Fest that Kenny Omega's now doing. I forgot all about that too.
Yep. It was Kenny Omega versus. Yeah, there it is. Kenny Omega. Well, actually, it looks like it's going to be Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks versus Pac and the Lucha Brothers.
Nice.
Yeah. So there it is there.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, your favorite parts about Daniel versus Kofi?
Like I said, the intensity there. I just love, all the little things part of it, especially Daniel Bryan is always, after Kofi Kingston. I like the part where Kofi was on top rope and Daniel just runs up to try to give him a German off the top rope and keeps getting knocked down and all. You remember that part?
Mm-hmm.
And it's there's just a lot of intense moments in it, and just really great back and forth. It's just an all around really great match.
It definitely was. Thought about it. It's gonna be the cruiserweight match, and on the first match of the pre-show, first match of that night, I thought it was very fast paced. It was really clean, very crisp, and Tony Nese gets the really big surprise victory at the end, which was awesome. One of my favorite parts was the end when after Buddy Murphy hits the Murphy's Law, Tony Nese gets his foot on the rope. Buddy Murphy goes for his own running knees, but Tony counters it with a super kick and then hits his own running knees to get the 1, 2, 3 and become the new cruiserweight champion. I thought that was a really, really strong match. Shout out though to Braun Strowman and how jacked he is now. It was weird because only one other review mentioned it. Steven Larson. Cultaholic didn't bring it up. Brian Zane didn't bring it up. And Simon Miller didn't bring it up. It was just Steven Larson. And us. We mentioned it the first time we saw him, ripped his shirt. I was like, whoa, why did he do that? He doesn't usually, holy crud, he's jacked.
Yeah, that's what he did.
What? Okay.
I would do it too.
It was funny how
he just looked so much lighter and quicker.
Mm-hmm. It was really funny how we see him do that, and the first reaction was not, whoa, he's jacked. It was, wait, why'd he do that? That's new. And then we actually realized, oh, that's why he did it. That makes more sense. Whoa! And he's moving a lot better.
Yeah, just look at it. Like, as soon as the shirt comes off, just think backstage Alexa Bliss going
It was interesting though. I actually got to see the pre-show twice, and I watched the version of it from USA Network. And remember the time when they had the Hardy Boys, and it kept playing and playing and playing? That was because there was a commercial break on USA Network.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was, so we had to have that awkward moment while USA Network was having a commercial break. Also, you know that really cool shot where it was Braun gets thrown out from under the ring? We missed that. And you know that really cool shot of him sliding back in the ring? We get that on hard cam. And we had it where it was down below and you just see him slip in out of nowhere, which was cool. USA Network had that on hard cam. So a lot of different camera angles there, which was interesting.
This is better than last year when they had on the USA Network or whatever it is when you were watching when they had a big commercial break. during the pod where all the NXT women were.
Oh,
doing
we
stuff
watched it on the WWE network.
And they had some type of commercial break. Yeah, it's like,
She does really cool flip, and you mentioned this like a couple weeks after. It's like, oh yeah, did you see Bianca Belair do a flip? It's like, which one's Bianca Belair? Oh, she's the black lady. She has long braid. It's like, oh,
they did a beautiful
okay.
450 splash.
When was that? Oh, what? At this point, and we had a commercial break, and the last thing we saw was Kairi Sane it came back when Kairi Sane doing the insane elbow. Oh, that was after the 450 splash. Oh, yeah, we missed it. Thanks, WWE.
It was better than that time when they had NXT on live TV.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched it on the network, and then when I went to go see like other people's reviews of it, I saw like people say, yeah, man, it didn't have a women's match. And I was like, no, they did. I saw the women's match. I thought it was pretty good. And then I was like, going through and it's like, oh my god, they took the women's match out to have it fit.
So messed up. But yeah, that's those are our two best segments of the week. Not really much to talk about after that. I was gonna add the Fatal 4-Way for the men's Raw, the men's SmackDown Tag Team Championship. But in my heart, I feel the Cruiserweights edged it out just a hair.
Mm-hmm.
Both really good matches, though.
Yeah.
All right, time for our fourth segment, and this is the part where we usually rant. And WrestleMania is over, though, so should we make a new segment, or should we still be hopeful, or should we rant again?
I'm gonna go with ranting.
Ranting sounds like
DJ's not here,
fun.
but we know you would go ranting.
He'll be like, yeah, we're gonna rant, and then he's gonna praise the WWE, and we're just like, that's not a rant, DJ. Come on, buddy.
He's gonna be hopeful for what he wants WWE to do.
Exactly.
For the rant.
We still love you, buddy.
Yeah. For the rant, I would say I don't like the fact that when Lacey Evans came down and she hit Becky Lynch, like her finisher is supposed to be the woman's right, which is a big punch to the face. She hits Becky with a punch to the face, and then Becky kind of steps back a bit, and it's like, I don't think it would have been too much to have Becky Lynch just go down from a sucker punch. That's supposed to be someone's finisher. Because now you just made her finisher look weak right off the bat.
Yeah.
So.
Luckily for people who didn't know that, we didn't even know that was supposed to be her finisher. So.
Is that something you didn't know?
Not at all. So maybe that's why a lot of the casual fans or people who don't watch. No, he probably didn't know at all.
He was like, she wrestles too?
This is amazing. There was a... Yeah, you can finish.
No, that's mostly what the rant is. Just bring people in and instantly have their finisher look weakened from the beginning.
Okay, my rant is something we've ranted about before. You've ranted about before. And now it's my turn to rant about it. Lars Sullivan made his debut on Raw, and he attacked Kurt Angle after Kurt Angle attacked Baron Corbin. He beat him down real good. He then proceeded to go to the top rope. He then proceeded to hit the diving headbutt perfectly. Why are we still allowing people to do the diving headbutt? This is very bad. It causes concussions. It causes brain damage. It causes
people to the top rope
to go mental.
He causes smooth the CTE.
Oh, the CBD. Chris Benoit Destroyer. The man who created it, Harley Race, hates the move, says he wished he never would have thought of the concept. A bunch of other people who used to do the move claim of its destruction to themselves, but yet Daniel Bryan still attempts it and does it sometimes. Lars Sullivan is still doing it. probably a couple others on the indies we don't even know about. That's a move that it shouldn't just be banned. It should just be out of our minds, out of our repertoires, out of our lives. And it looks so dangerous and devastating, and it is. Not because it looks dangerous and devastating to the person taking it, but from the person giving it. Last time we saw someone botch the move was Daniel Bryan versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin rolled out the way, but rolled the wrong way. Their heads connected, and they were both holding their heads for like a good 20 seconds. And the ref's checking on both of them. If that's what happens, that could easily get a X being thrown up, and that's not good. So WWE, get that crowd out of here.
Yeah, someone on the indie crowd does like a 450 spike, diving headbutt where he lands like on the top of his head.
Mm-hmm. And we're all just like, oh. Alrighty.
Even like Will Ospreay's like, man, calm down, you hurt your neck.
Even Kota Ibushi is like, whoa, calm down, you'll hurt your neck.
But then Hiromu was like, interesting.
And Naito is just like, tranquilo. Alright, it's the next segment.
Yeah?
Let's book it yourself.
Book it yourself?
Are you ready to book it yourself?
Sure, let's book it.
I have the names right here. We're gonna book all of these names from Game of Thrones, and we're putting them in to a wrestling faction. And it can be any faction, inside the WWE, outside the WWE, whatever fits right for them, that's where they'll go. That's where they'll go.
Existing as well?
As long as it had existed and people were in it, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But even if it's not around today, in the New World Order, that's not around today.
Mm-hmm.
But there might be someone in here that it would fit perfectly for them.
Yes.
All right, we're going with Jon Snow, Taguchi, Japan.
Yes.
Sansa Stark. Right? She's not like Taguchi.
How about beautiful people?
We'll come back to that. I think she's a little bit more of a baby face. She still has an edge. That's what I meant. She's a bit more of a tweener. Not beautiful people / allure is definitely not that. So
I don't know that many female factions.
neither do I. We didn't watch Glow growing up.
No. I wasn't really there when we were.
Very true. We didn't even watch did you see the Netflix show?
Some of it.
I still haven't seen the 2 seasons. What about factions that had a woman in it?
You wouldn't just make it non-gendering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to make it gender exclusive because that'll make it way too hard.
Yeah. So Sansa Stark.
She definitely has leader qualities, and she. I honestly was thinking Chaos.
Chaos, yeah. Good work. Good work.
She's still good, but she still has.
She learned from the Master of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Baelish.
Very true.
Yeah.
Also, she has
also.
She can still do sneaky style. She with her and Arya what they did. So yeah, I think Chaos is good for Sansa.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Arya Stark.
Arya Stark. What's a faction of straight up killers?
Bullet Club.
Okay, Bullet Club.
Either Bullet Club or Suzuki Japan, I think. Or maybe even the New World Order. Before they got crazy. Where they would just go in and do their own thing.
Suzuki.
Suzuki-gun. I said Suzuki Japan.
Uh,
Oh my gosh. Why do I keep doing that?
that would be the weird crossover there. Taguchi Japan. Suzuki-gun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Minoru Suzuki. Tagging against the world is the best thing.
Alright, next is Bran Stark. He's very stoic. He's very no-nonsense kind of guy. Right to censor, maybe?
I guess so.
It's really hard for Bran because I haven't seen anybody just be that type of character really in wrestling. Usually they always attack you or they cheat.
It's very difficult.
The only other would be maybe Li. Not so much Lij, but Li. I don't know how they are though in CMLL.
Oh, we have Cersei Lannister.
Beautiful people.
Okay. Jaime Lannister.
Beautiful people.
It's also beautiful people.
Tyrion Lannister.
Tyrion Lannister.
Now this one is really interesting.
Yeah. Maybe still Suzuki-gun? Because there's a lot of, sneaky trickster type guys.
There is.
Like cheaters like Tai Chi. Type of people.
Again, I also get a bit of chaos vibes.
He has chaos as well.
Killing his own father definitely stirs up some chaos.
Chaos, yeah. That all works. Daenerys Targaryen.
Daenerys Targaryen is, I think, Lij. She's very tranquilo about, she has her beliefs, she sticks to them, she doesn't let anybody, and if anybody gets out of line, she'll attack them.
Very tranquilo, burning people alive.
She's very tranquilo about it, and she may get a little bit hyped up, and she's like, you know what?
She's tranquilo about bend the knee. Bend the knee.
She didn't kill Jon Snow, so I guess a little bit tranquilo. Yara Greyjoy.
A very open, pretty people. Could be an LJ.
Theon Greyjoy.
Theon.
He's a bit of a coward.
Yeah.
Is there any factions that you can think of, or stables that you can think of that have a bunch of cowards in them?
Job Squad.
Job Squad? Or we can throw him into
losers.
Or we can throw him into the B team.
B team is.
Yeah, because he got an accidental win again in the last season. Because beautiful people. Jorah Mormont. I kind of get Taguchi Japan, but there's something else there. There's a different edge.
Yeah, only if there's one that's like people who used to be slavers, but people forgive them, especially because they think of him as a hot dad type.
Definitely, Jorah is definitely a difficult one, because
I think you have to put him in LJ though, so he can be with Daenerys, so that's where you want to put him. He's just gonna follow her around.
I guess he'd be like the factionless maybe, because of that. He's just always following, and then he's always getting the sidearm and the cold shoulder, like Daenerys does anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, why not? We'll put him in LJ. He's definitely the whipping boy of the group, even though they don't really have one.
Then you have the Hounds.
The Hound of Justice. It's already there.
Shield.
He's a part of the Shield. He's obviously a part of the Shield. He starts off as this rough and ready bad guy, and he becomes more of a lovable favorite for some. Especially this guy right here. The Mountain. Completely the opposite. Starts off as a rough and ready bad guy, and he just stays that way.
That's
And becomes
Suzuki
undead. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Suzuki Goon.
Mm.
Samuel Tarly.
Taguchi Japan.
Obviously. He's obviously going to be with John.
Yes.
That, Gilly. Same. Taguchi Japan.
And also Baby Sam. That's
And
the
Baby
last
Sam.
Baby
Yes.
Sam.
Of course.
And Baby Sam's twins.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That usually happens a lot,
Yeah,
though.
so that you can switch them out in case one's not acting alright.
Mm-hmm. Lord varies. And I think this varies. Actually it doesn't. He's a sneaky little guy. He likes, he has his little spies everywhere. That sounds a lot like, a little bit of chaos.
I was thinking Chaos because they can see him in a tag team with Yano.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Or, maybe some WWE, a faction with, Finley. Finley loves to fight, but what does he always have with him? A leprechaun friend to help him out in dire situations. What does Lord Varys have? His little birds to help him out in dire situations for information. So that makes sense to me too. If we're doing tag teams, but we'll stick with
But
chaos.
tag team with R-Truth. One of his little birds is little Jimmy. After the Blueberries, we have Brienne up top.
Yes, Brianna Tarth.
She reminds me a lot of China as a character.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Silence, the badass female.
So we're throwing in a DX.
Could be just act as a bodyguard, just like China did.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't act like the men of DX, but like I said, she reminds me a lot of China. So
Yeah, and just she's a woman. She doesn't have to act like the men. Davos Seaworth, Taguchi Japan.
Yeah.
Braun,
DX.
obvious. Oh, he can definitely be a DX.
Yeah.
Or a Bullet Club trying to get into one faction and then going somewhere else, just like Switchblade Jay White did. Someone who's always out for number one doesn't always have a very, what do you call that, a faction type thing. But then again, that's exactly what Bullet Club is. They always look out for number one.
Yeah. Then the Project Pain, I think he's also going to be with DX. As first as the Whipping Boy, following Brienne.
So he's basically the X-Pac of the group?
Yeah, but then you also find out that he's really good in bed with women, like him there. That becomes a very big thing for him with DX, because that's something they respect a lot.
So he's definitely a DX. Tormund Giantsbane. This one's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Because he starts off with one way, and then when you actually really get to know him, he's a completely different character with a lot of good wisdom. I would like to think he's in Taguchi Japan with all the others with him. But he could also be Chaos, still helping Taguchi Japan, still teaming with him, but he still has that edge about him. What do you think?
That makes sense. Makes sense. There's Grey Worm.
Grey Worm, he's just a complete straight up fighter, no nonsense kind of guy. I'm gonna have to go with, and this is gonna shock you, the very first iteration of the Nexus.
Okay.
What did they do when they first debuted? They just fought and destroyed, no nonsense. And it wasn't until later on when Vince screwed him over. But I can definitely see that from him.
Vince didn't screw NXT. NXT screwed NXT.
And then we had Missandei. she is the most cookie cutter of them all. I think not Li. Oh my gosh, not Li. Even though Daenerys is Lij.
The huge Japan.
Yeah, she's Japan. Gendry Baratheon, even though he doesn't hold Baratheon as his last name.
Well, I mean, he's starting to now.
Yeah,
and he'll probably be giving it to him if Daenerys or Jon take over.
Yes. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, but I figure he can also probably be like his father, be a good party animal as well.
So Chaos, still helping out Jon, but then sometimes helping out himself.
I don't know, I was thinking, you don't see him enough, but it could be even DX. Because like I said, he's like a party animal like his father is.
Yeah, so maybe DX or Chaos, depending on really how we see him towards the
more
end.
about this season.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, Beric Dondarrion.
Well, that would be, obviously, be factions. Brother without factions.
Yeah. But if he had to join one, it's gonna be with Jon Snow. Or no, you know what? He has a fire sword. Who in any factions has crazy weapons? Exactly. Lij. That's where he's going.
I mean, I could see more back into Japan, like you're saying. I mean, he was a loyal follower for Ned Stark. You know.
And he's an overall just good guy.
Yeah.
But just because of his crazy weapon. Exactly, he's doing it for the people. But just because he has a flaming sword, Lij as well.
Yeah, we are in Greyjoy.
He is just straight up Bullet Club.
Yeah.
He goes in to wreck some havoc. And yeah, that's everybody. That was fun. We just put everybody in a faction.
You could turn around from last week.
Oh yeah, that was
putting everyone in houses.
Exactly. And then what's next? I think it's, what do you think?
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think?
What do you think? What do you think is our next segment? It's where we ask a question to our compadres and ask them, what do they think? So, Senior Liam Landry, what do you think Season 8 is going to start like?
It's going to start with like chaos, you know. There's going to be like instant destruction. Everyone in Winterfell dies.
Oh man.
No, I think it's still going to be. It's going to have a relative calm start. Okay, because the second one's supposed to be the battle.
The storm.
Second one's supposed to be the Battle of Winterfell.
Oh, okay.
And that's supposed to be, according to what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be the largest cinematic battle of all time. So I'm figuring like from beginning to end.
Oh man.
Just a giant battle.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm just supposed to be trying to prep with that, get out of the dialogue, because if you're gonna have just an entire episode of just battling, you're gonna need to.
That's gonna be the that's gonna basically end up being the Undisputed Era. Because they could go for hours if they wanted to, where you're just like, oh my gosh, that's gonna, if that entire episode is just the battle for Winterfell, holy crud, we are not ready.
Yes. Best part is I heard it's choreographed by Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. See the part where Drago.
Bring it all back around to wrestling.
V triggers, the ice dragon.
Dragon, get in there. Save your brother. I don't know why. I guess this was like a dream or something. Or a visual, but I saw a visual of because I always thought a dragon killed a dragon with flame, and and that didn't happen at all, and it was a completely different death scene. I didn't know that was going to happen that way, stuff like that. How cool would it be if out of nowhere Dragon goes to his brother, grabs him and just completely flames him to death. Maybe we got this wrong. We'll talk about it later. Anyways, yeah, it's your question, sir.
What do you think is going to benefit most from the Superstar shakeup?
The champions. I think the champions right now because they'll have fresh blood and they'll be able to actually have better feuds and not be the same old stagnant that we've been getting the last 6 months. Because we get really sick and tired of always seeing Seth versus. There's like 7 months of Seth versus Dolph Ziggler, which was tiresome. Shaking it up will be good to see Seth versus anyone else. Like maybe Seth versus Matt Hardy or Seth versus James. There's no James. Anyone, basically.
Bring a guy named James in here.
Yes, anybody named James. Buddy Murphy, maybe even. I can actually see him joining the main
full
roster
person from the crowd named James, and that'd be a better match than another Dolph Ziggler one.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was what do you think? It's the mailbag time. Final segment of the show, everybody. And it's where we get questions from you, where we either you ask us questions or, you've asked other people questions and we answer them anyway because we have really good insight as well. Whoops, wrong button. Anyways, one of the biggest ones is what were your overall thoughts of WrestleMania?
Long and but good start.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was long, yes, especially once Cena did his stupid thing and then once the bloody street fight happened or no hold barred match happened and it was just so slow and plodding and apparently everyone loved it and I was just like, shoot me in the face and get it over with. Other than that,
into it. Everyone was into it apparently.
Yeah, apparently Steven Larson had a great time with the match. They were drunk, so their thoughts might be skewed a bit, but Cultaholic loved it, and Brian Zane said it was fun, and I'm pretty sure Simon Miller gave it an up. So, yeah. But then at least it ended on a happy note. Or at least as happy as it could with the botch finish.
Yeah, so true.
Another big question is who's gonna suffer the most from a superstar shakeup?
I don't know. I don't think anyone hurts too much for the superstar shakeup. I mean, it's difficult to say. I mean, do you think there's anyone on Raw who would get lost in SmackDown or vice versa?
I think yes. If it's any tag team that period. If it's a tag team going, I think they would because 3 tag teams already from SmackDown got lost in the shuffle immediately. Was the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and I forgot his name.
Luke Gallows.
Thank you. Sanity. Immediately, they made a a big splash and then just disappeared. And it took them 2.5 months before they even made their big splash, if not more. And the other one was, even though they had a lot of matches, what was Rusev Day. They were in a lot of key matches, but they never won the big one. And then they just disappeared, and then Rusev gets thrown into another tag team with Shinsuke, which isn't going anywhere. Because you know who your tag team champions are right now? Hardy Boys. So, because the Hardy Boys have it, and Usos dropped it, which is why people are thinking that they're going to Raw. Yeah, Tuesday night, Hardy Boys are going to be SmackDown champions. So, yeah, that happened. So, I think there are definitely big things that could cause a person to just be lost in the shuffle. Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley got lost in the shuffle when they got moved to. They were already lost in the shuffle. They moved to a longer show, lost in the shuffle again. So far, the only one who's had like a lot of big things go down is Baron Corbin. So I think it's entirely possible.
I'm looking at a video apparently at Coachella. Some had a Baby Shark remix.
Oh my goodness.
Pretty pretty cool stage setup there from Coachella. Never wanted to go to it, but
You never wanted to?
no. Wasn't the only reason why. Especially now knowing that they have Baby Shark remixes down.
Are you for Baby Shark remixes or anti Baby Shark remixes?
Anti-Baby Shark remixes.
Okay. Oh wait, I just had it too. Did you get to see the Takeover recap show?
No.
Apparently, Candice LeRae had a match there.
Oh wow! Surprise,
Yeah.
surprise.
That's
Does that have to happen?
So good.
Have to happen eventually.
Oh. Who do you think is going to come back from injury first? I'm thinking AJ Styles.
Yeah, probably AJ.
Mm-hmm. Close second would might be, what's his name? Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre might be a close second.
Mm-hmm. Most logically, yes.
Yeah. Unless, of course, whatever John Cena does to be a superhuman, he gives that to Big E and he's back in no time.
I think what he tends to do is say that he's going to be out longer than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And then just come back and say like, boom, surprise.
I'm back, everybody. He's superhuman.
It's going to take 10 years to recover from this injury. Comes back 5 months later. I'm Super Cena.
So that's how he got his Super Cena powers.
Yeah. Lying.
So if you can have any match in the past and replace one of the competitors with someone present, who would it be? That's a pretty good thinker right there.
Any match from the past. And replace it with someone from today.
I'm going to pick one. It's going to be Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. Replace Hulk Hogan with Velveteen Dream.
See, I was about to say Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, but replace Hulk Hogan with Velveteen Dream.
be Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Replace Bret Hart with Adam Cole. I think that would be a fun thing to have a face Adam Cole turn heel and a heel Rattlesnake turn babyface. But he'd be able to do it so well with all the smugness in the world, Adam Cole.
How about Shawn Michaels versus anyone not good and replace it with Kenny Omega?
There you go.
Yeah.
Or Undertaker versus Johnny Gonzalez and replace Johnny Gonzalez with Braun Strowman.
That would be good as well.
Mm-hmm. That's some good. That was fun. That was nice. And
how about Undertaker versus Johnny Gonzalez, but you replace Undertaker with the Great Khali?
Oh my gosh. Okay, you take the Undertaker versus the Great Khali in the Punjabi prison match, and you replace
the Undertaker with the Great Khali, so it's Great Khali versus Great Khali in the Punjabi prison match.
No, you take the Undertaker and Great Khali, and you keep them, and you just replace the Punjabi prison match with anything better.
I thought you were
War Games, why not?
Replace the Punjabi prison match with Johnny Gonzalez's. A team together as a cage. Thought you were going to go for that, but I should have known by now that only I could do something that ridiculous.
Yes, you are the Chikara of the Smart Wrestling Alliance, and I don't want to say that. I'm just going to give myself the props. I'm in New Japan.
Oh, gonna go with ROH.
Would that be DJ? Though he's not usually ever here.
No.
I mean, technically he would be New Japan. No, what?
Oh, she Japan.
Technically he would be WWE, yeah. But he's never here to represent WWE. And whenever he is, he talks bad about WWE, but he only watches WWE.
We're gonna get him to watch all Elite Wrestling.
Heck yeah, he's not getting out of it.
Because he can't say that I haven't watched it before, because it's the beginning.
Yes. Double or Nothing, we'll just make him watch All or Nothing, and okay, you're caught up on All Elite Wrestling. Now you know everything.
Watch All in you?
That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm. You said All or Nothing.
Dang. He watches All In. He likes poker. We'll trick him. It's like, hey, there's this really big poker. It's called All In. You gotta watch it. Okay, I love poker. This is wrestling. It's still called All In, so you're watching it.
The next show is called Pair of Twos. That's an in-joke from us.
Yes.
Basically, I beat both of them at separate times with pairs of twos instead of one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, the odds of that, so astronomically small. And you've done it twice.
Yeah, you still remember the time Francesca texted us that picture from the...
That was funny. She texted a picture of somebody winning a hand with just a pair of twos.
Yeah, professional poker.
That is great.
Yes.
Anyways, that's our show today. Next time we'll have better mailbag questions, and we'll be ready for it. Next time, in theory, we'll have a DJ. We won't be doing the podcast next week.
We won't be doing any Baby Shark remixes.
We won't be doing any of that, but we won't be doing any podcast next week because it will be Easter Sunday, and we won't be here in time. Well, I won't be here in time because I have lunch and breakfast with my family. If you watch Skeleton Productions, if you are subscribed to Skeleton Productions, we will be doing our Star Wars episode later that night, and we will be watching Game of Thrones episode 2, season 8. However, but that's at night. We're 36 won't happen until 2 weeks from now, and in theory, we'll have a DJ. We'll let you know the minute we get on the air, and either you'll see 3 chairs or 2. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. If you like what we do, please give us those sexy, sexy likes.
And the unsexy ones.
And then share to all of your friends.
And enemies.
If you really like what we do and you've done the first two, then you gotta subscribe to our channel to become a part of the Smarky family. And after that, you gotta ring that notification bell because
you want to get notified for when we go live for our podcast shooting with the Smarky family every Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time or 1:30 Central Time. And then also get notified for when we go live for pay-per-views inside and outside the WWE.
always.
And also just when we put out videos or, information, polls, whatever.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to do a lot more in the coming weeks soon enough, or in the coming months soon enough. We have some plans, and we will let you guys know when the time is right. Follow me on Twitter at IsaJ_STP.
Follow me on Twitter at Liam_SWA.
Comment down below and let us know what you thought about the show, the news, your favorite segment or wrestling segment this week, any and everything. Let us know. And that leads us to the last thing we gotta say, and that is, until next time, it will be awesome. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.